throughout the game last night. That added a nice element.
Yesterday, the NBA approved using coaches' challenges next season. Teams can use one challenge per game on personal fouls called on the coach's own team, an out-of-bounds call, goaltending, or basket interference. Nick, good idea or bad idea?
Well, I think you know where I stand on this. I don't like challenges in any sport. I think the expansion of replay makes the viewing experience worse, and I don't think it makes officiating better. The NBA's barely expanding it, but they are adding an element we've never had at any level of basketball, which is a coach's challenge. Now, you're going to have a timeout. It's on a very limited basis, but we know how challenges have worked in other sports, which is there is a bit of a mission creep element, which is first it's this, now it's this. In the NFL, we're seeing now it's pass interference as well. So I don't like it. I'm not going to whine about it, but I don't think it's going to make the games better. I'll tell you that.
No, I don't think it's going to make the games better, and I know what it's not going to make better. It's not going to make the relationship with the referees and the coaches and the players better. Right now, we know we have a problem. Last couple of years, 2 All-Star games ago, they met with the referees and the players, try to come to some type of understanding about doing their job. Now you get a replay, and now it's just going to bring more confusion and more NBA players. I mean, every NBA game, none of those guys commit fouls. None of them do anything wrong. So now we'll have video evidence to be able to prove one of them wrong again.
All right, moving on. Jared Dudley recently tweeted some love for his new teammate Kyle Kuzma. Said Kuz is the key for the Lakers. The 23-year-old was the one young player the Lakers insisted on keeping. CeCe, how much confidence do you have that Kuzma can be the Lakers' 3rd best player in his 3rd season?
Well, when you look at the rumors, as far as him, Ingram, Ball, who's going to be there, and now they have Anthony Davis. Kuzma, I hope he's having a great offseason. They didn't sign Kawhi Leonard. I thought he was the biggest benefactor of that, him not signing, because now as an offensive threat, he has the ability to be able to thrive. I've always liked his skill level. I thought he was a better shooter coming out of college than we ever thought he'd be, and I thought he had the potential to be just as good as the other players drafted the year before him and 2 years before him. So I think things look very, very good as far as his future. Looking to see where he grows his game in year 3.
Right, but if in order for him to be the 3rd best offensive player in the Lakers, he just needs to continue the natural evolution he showed last year while getting back to what he did his rookie season on open threes. His rookie season, shot 398 open threes, made 38% of them. Last season, shot 402 open threes, almost the exact same amount, shot 31% on them. 38% on open threes is good. 31% ranks in the bottom 10 in the NBA. He's going to have even more opportunities for open threes this year, averaged 5 a game last season. If he can get back around 38% on those open threes like you're seeing right there, then he will be the 3rd best offensive player on the Lakers and a guy who should approach 18 to 20 points per game next season.
All right, moving on to the NFL chairs in the league. Big players making big moves to form big duos across the NBA. And while most fans are seemingly thrilled about it, well, the commissioner is not. Adam Silver isn't fond of trade demands, calling them disheartening, says the league needs to address them. Nick, what's your reaction to this?
And listen, the league created this in the latest collective bargaining agreement and the one before it, and I have very little sympathy for them in this regard. The league felt owners and teams had to be protected from themselves. We can't have any more 7-year, 8-year contracts. So they put a cap on the number of years on a contract. They put a cap, which there had been in the last few collective bargaining agreements, on player maximum salaries. And that created 2 things. One is, even when you sign a brand new deal, you're not that far from free agency. And because you put a cap on how much LeBron or Russell Westbrook or any of the top players in the league can make, those guys are not, one team can't, your home team can't say, we'll pay you $60 million a year. It's one thing to leave $30 million on the table. Are you going to leave $120 million on the table? So they created this. And so and there's one other element. No, you don't have to acquiesce to the trade demand. Like the New Orleans Pelicans could have said, No. Anthony Davis is going to come play for us. You know why they did acquiesce to the trade demand? Because they wanted the return. The Oklahoma City Thunder wanted to reboot, and they wanted the return. Players in the NBA don't hold out. Guys, Anthony Davis went to him last year and demanded a trade. At no point did he say, I won't play for you anymore. We never see that happen. Eric Bledsoe demanded a trade a few years ago. The team sent him home. He didn't say, I'm not going to play for you anymore. So there's a push and pull with everything. And if you want to give power back to organizations, then to a degree, what you have to do is remove the 4-year max on signing free agents. Let someone offer someone a 9-year deal, a 12-year deal like Mike Trout has in Los Angeles. But the owners don't want that. So the flip side of with shorter contracts is less risk for the team, but players always going to hold the hammer, which is you don't want to lose me for nothing, so trade me when I want to be traded.
It's about the guarantees. The reason why the NBA is in the situation is when you guarantee, and you got 10 guys on a 15-man roster, and they got guaranteed money. You know something? You can come to work, tell people what you want. Imagine if you had 4 years guaranteed here. You know something? Man, get sick whenever you want to. Hey, you know something? My back hurts.
Sick once this year.
Right,
but just imagine, every job, I just want you to imagine, no matter if you go to work or not, you have guaranteed money. The owners don't have much leverage. They gave too much power to the players, and now this is the backlash. Paul George, 2 out of the last, 4 years, he's demanded a trade, and he's gotten out of it. The Pelicans had to trade Anthony Davis. You know the reason why? Because if he destroys that locker room, he destroys your fan base. If he's not going to play, if he's got a bad attitude, you still got to pay him. What if he goes out there and gets hurt? So now you have to be able to trade him. What if he fakes an injury? What if he say, oh, man, my back? They send him to get an x-ray. You don't see anything, but let me tell you something. If you want to fake something, fake a back injury. So now the owners, they've given the players ownership type power. This is the backlash from it. And when you have guaranteed contracts, man, you are at the mercy of the players. And that's what we have seen with the best players. But this only works for the best. Right. If you are a mid-level player, if you are right in the middle of the pack, you're not going to be able to do that. Only the best in the game can do it.
But it's true, because look at over the last 2 seasons. If you're a team, you can trade a player who's under contract. If you're a player, a good player, you can demand a trade if you're under contract. So how binding are contracts if you're not having guaranteed money?
Right. Well, listen, the contracts are, in a lot of businesses, they're worth the paper they're printed on. Blake Griffin signed a 5-year contract to continue his life in Los Angeles. They said they're going to retire his jersey.
That's the part we get wrong, though. He's going to play basketball. He's going to work there. But no one promised him, hey, man, this is where your family, no one promised.
But that is what the Clippers promised him. That is, in that specific instance, that is exactly.
He's the first guy been lied to.
No, I'm not. No, absolutely not.
I just think guys get consumed with, this is where I'm getting ready to. No, it's not about a life. It's about what are you going to do and where you're going to play the next couple of years. And right now, Blake Griffin, did the organization tell him, yeah, we're getting ready to do this all around you? But what was his choice? Not sign the deal?
Well, he could have signed elsewhere. There's a lot of things he could have done.
He did the right thing because they could pay him the most money, right?
I got no problem with it. My point is it's a two-way street. I don't think we disagree here.
It can't be a two-way street. Because one guy owns the team, the other people work for the team.
Yeah, so
it's got to be a little bit different for the owner. You can't tell me the owners and the players got to have the same rules.
Okay, well, what I'm telling you is de facto in the NBA for the best 10 players in the league, they essentially do. Because the most powerful person in the Pelicans organization last year, it turned out, was not Gail Benson. It was Anthony Davis. And it turned out the most powerful person for the Thunder this past season, Paul George, was close. Now, Paul George, by the way, is an anomaly. Where he signs a contract extension, a year later demands a trade. We see guys demand a trade with 1 year left on their deals. But one last point on this. In all of our major sports in this country, football, baseball, basketball, if you draft a player, he has no freedom of movement. In baseball, it's 6 years. In the NFL, it's 6 years. In the NBA, it's a de facto 7 years. You have more than half a decade in all our major sports to sell your city, franchise, organization to the team, to the player. And if you can't do it, then I don't have much sympathy for you. And if guys want to, after being drafted, decide they haven't been able to, as an adult, pick where I want to work, and I want to go work where there's a beach or where there's nice weather or my family is, I don't begrudge those guys that, especially if you're one of the 10 best people in the whole world at what you do.
There's a team out there with a beach. It's the Lakers. Coming up, our next season's Lakers, the best LeBron team since he left Miami. That is still ahead on First Things First. See what I did there? It was a transition.